Welcome back to Future Perfect. Now, what's worse than graduating from a college only to find out the skills you learn don't match what's needed by the market, or worse, obsolete? Now, a recent audit shows some schools offering computer science courses have to, in so many words, get with the program. Now, to this end, the Commission on Higher Education, or the CHED, tasked the Philippine Software Industry Association, or the PSIA, to develop computer science curricula and compliance requirements for colleges and universities. Leading this effort is the Technology Director of the PSIA, Calen Legaspi, who was appointed to head the CHED's Technical Committee for Computer Science. Is that right, Calen?
No.
No. Okay.
Just a little. I don't head the
you don't head
committee.
It.
I'm the industry representative.
Okay.
It's mostly academics, and I'm people might.
Yes.
The other people in the committee.
Now
might.
that is a lesson in why you need to study in college too. So you get the titles of the guests right. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
All right. Well, Calen, thanks very much for coming over. And what exactly do you think is the mismatch between what's being taught in schools and what the industry needs?
Right. Well, first of all, a lot of schools in the Philippines are very good.
Okay.
There's a good number of schools all over the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas,
Wala pang
Mindanao.
dapat ipasara.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
We're number 2 in IT outsourcing, and a lot of people are a lot of even Indian executives are saying they find better quality in software development here in the Philippines, and that's because we have a good number of schools that are really top tier, producing very good graduates.
Okay.
Unfortunately, these schools are a minority. The great majority of schools aren't really even teaching. I'm not even talking about new technologies. I'm talking about basic computer science.
Really?
Education.
Yeah.
So they're not delivering on the proper curricula mandated by CHED.
Okay. Fly by night.
I don't want to use those words, but they're not meeting the standard established by CHED.
So they're not even genetically engineered mosquitoes. They cannot fly by night.
Don't put words into my mouth.
I will not put the words or the mosquitoes in your mouth either.
Right, yeah.
So they don't teach the basics at all. So what should CHED do about that?
Well, right now, me and the other people in the various technical committees are going around the country and reviewing some of the schools. Of course, there's over 1,000 universities and colleges teaching computer science and IT and information systems.
Yeah.
So we can't look at all of them, but we're,
You cannot look at all of them.
because there's too many. There's only a few of us in the various technical committees and, and in the technical panel. But the ones that we are able to look at, we're reviewing, and then we give our advice to CHED on what they should be doing with regards to these schools.
Now, okay, you're talking about the basics, right? They don't even get the basics.
Right.
So let's go to, say, the higher level courses that are being offered. What do you see now as the possible mismatch between what's being taught and what's actually needed by the industry?
Well, like I said, the good schools are teaching computer science pretty well.
Okay, so you don't see any mismatch so far?
There is, of course, they teach the core well. It's the newer technologies and methodologies that they need to teach, and this is an issue across the entire world. Usually, the academia is a bit behind industry, especially in a new field like software engineering with software development. So even schools in developed countries, they're a little behind. So there has to be a significant amount of training that companies invest in their hires of fresh grads. Now,
as technology in the IT industry evolves, what are we supposed to be teaching now to our IT professionals?
All right. Of course, the computer science fundamentals are important. Algorithms, data structures, things like that. Computer architecture. And then, but on top of that, there's things like more modern software engineering, such as agile software development. things that are that have proven methodologies and practices and principles that have proven effective, so that when computer science and IT graduates graduate, they can build computer systems that will work, that they don't fall apart every time you make a little change.
Okay.
There's a difference between creating little programs in school that pass your course and whatever, and creating real world systems that over the years, over various changes, can still stand up.
Okay. And you're talking about IT impacting on different sectors of society.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the more critical sectors that you think that we have to catch up with in terms of IT capabilities? I mean, all right, let me think of something. Banking and finance, you know, you need secure software for that.
I mean, across the board, information technology is permeating every
field.
industry. So there's no singling out one
that's more critical than the
others.
others.
I mean, even media and entertainment, there's so much information technology involved there now. So information technology is core to a lot of businesses. It also allows a business to be competitive because it's able to reach out to their customers in other ways. So so for all industries in the Philippines to be globally competitive, we need to have a strong base of professionals that are competent in developing software and other information technology professions. Right now, the supply is way below what the demand is. And
is it really?
Yeah,
that's surprising.
And also, some of the skills being taught in schools, they're taught the fundamentals, the theoreticals, the concepts. But then that part, there's the difference between computer science and software engineering. So there's a difference between science and engineering. And across the world, its own universities are just starting to recognize that software engineering is a separate field.
Okay.
And but those are
how would you describe, like, say, the two? We say computer science would be the fundamentals, and software engineering would be the higher level of skill that's needed, right?
Right. So the foundation is still computer science, but software engineering is, for example, in school, you know, maybe the biggest program would be 5,000 lines of code. In industry, it could be run to millions of lines of code.
Okay.
You're working with large teams. Your requirements are changing every week. Technologies change every week. Business demands are changing every day. So you have to, the software has to be able to adapt.
Evolve. Yeah.
Right. But the way students are taught, they write a program, they submit it, it works, but it's fragile. It can't accommodate change. So they're not taught to make their programs easily accommodate change without breaking. And also being able to accommodate integration of various components written by large teams of programmers, sometimes in
Don't they learn that on the
locations.
job? I mean, when you do hire these fresh graduates, I mean, you normally think that what they learn in school isn't really complete, right? I mean, normally you need them to be exposed to a working environment so that they pick up more skills. Right.
Yeah, but then at the moment, so the Philippines, the software industry is mostly in outsourcing. So there's you know, software being built gets sent here for the software development. But in outsourcing, in that sense, there's tech transfer of practices, of approaches. But it would be great if from the very beginning, you know, it would be great if we were capable of not just building software for other people,
designing,
creating our own intellectual property. So if you look at, you know, the great technopreneurs of the last few decades, they started their enterprises while they were in school. So they learned how to build robust software while they were in school. And I don't think even the best schools in the country are teaching their students. They teach good computer science, but not the software engineering part, so that they can build software that's competitive against other countries.
But I guess our young tech entrepreneurs shouldn't lose hope, because, you know, Steve Wozniak did say that Steve Jobs couldn't write code to save his life.
Well, I think Steve Jobs is more of a product manager, and, you know, Wozniak was the engineer.
Right.
Wozniak could write code, you know, with one eye, drunk, you know, half asleep. You know.
Yeah. Well, still a lot to do, of course, and you say, although not optimistically, that you can't check all of these schools, but definitely when you get around to weeding out those that do fit the bill, that eventually we'll do get.
Don't put the words in the mouth. We're going to make recommendations to CHED on what are on our finding, based on our findings.
So you don't want to use weeding out. You don't want to use fly-by-night.
Make recommendations.
Fantastic. Calen, thanks very much, from the CHED Technical Committee on Computer Science. Thanks for coming.
Which I'm not the head of.
Which you are not the head of. We should debug that code.
Right.
Okay. Coming up next, find out how you'll soon be able to use your cell phone to pay for an even better smartphone. Keep it here on Future Perfect.